All right. So today, we're looking at something that honestly makes a lot of people very uncomfortable, but we promise to always give you the absolute facts, right? We're talking about the 5 AI tools that are quietly, and I mean quietly, replacing entire job roles as we head into 2026.
Exactly, Stephen. And I want to set the tone right away. We are not here to be alarmist. This isn't some dystopian sci-fi scenario where robots take over the world. This is purely an economic and technological shift. Businesses are constantly looking for efficiency, and AI is simply the newest, most effective tool for specific, repetitive tasks.
Right, and I think the word repetitive is the key there, because when people hear AI is taking jobs, they picture like a physical android sitting at their desk typing, but in reality, it's just a software script that runs in the background. So let's just rip the band-aid off. What is the first tool and the first job role getting disrupted?
The first major shift is happening in data entry and basic administrative processing. The tools driving this are advanced automated document extractors, things like heavily optimized vision language models. Historically, a company would receive thousands of invoices, receipts, or claim forms a day, and they would employ dozens of data entry clerks just to physically type those numbers into a database.
Okay, so like literally just reading a PDF and typing the total amount into an Excel cell. I mean, OCR technology has been around for a while, right? How is the AI version fundamentally different, and why is it replacing the role entirely now?
That's a great question. Old OCR, optical character recognition, was incredibly rigid. If a coffee stain covered an invoice date, or if the format of the receipt changed from vendor to vendor, the software broke down. It required a human to constantly fix the errors. Modern AI extractors don't just read pixels, they understand context. They know that if the line says total PMNT, it means the invoice total, regardless of where it is on the page.
So it's removing the human verification step entirely. The AI is confident enough to read messy, unstructured data, cross-reference it, and instantly upload it to the CRM without anyone ever looking at it. That immediately eliminates the need for an army of manual processors.
It does, and we are seeing massive insurance companies and logistics firms quietly phasing out those entry-level administrative roles. But again, it's not about firing people for the sake of it. It's about taking the humans who used to do that mind-numbing data entry and upskilling them to actually analyze the data instead of just typing it.
Which brings us to a slightly more complex role, and I know this one usually shocks people because it's considered a creative job. Let's talk about junior copywriters and SEO content writers. What AI tools are disrupting them? Because surely an AI can't replace a real writer, right?
Well, it's not replacing elite, high-level copywriters who understand deep human psychology and brand voice, but it is absolutely replacing the high-volume, generic SEO content writers. The fundamental tools here are highly refined large language models, specifically fine-tuned agents built on GPT-4 or Claude 3 architectures, hooked directly into real-time search engine data.
So explain how that works in a real company. You run an e-commerce store with 10,000 products. In the past, you'd hire a team of junior writers to pump out 500-word descriptions for every single shirt, mug, and shoe, right?
Exactly. A company would pay a junior writer maybe $20 an hour to write hundreds of basic product descriptions or generic blog posts about top 10 ways to tie a shoe. Now, an AI content agent can scan the entire e-commerce catalog, analyze the top keywords on Google, and instantly generate 10,000 perfectly optimized, grammatically flawless product descriptions in roughly 3 minutes.
3 minutes versus weeks of human labor, and the quality is indistinguishable for that specific low-level task. So if you're a junior writer whose entire portfolio is just churning out generic SEO articles, your market value has essentially plummeted to zero because a $20 a month API call does it faster and perfectly.
Precisely, which is why the advice is no longer learn to write fast. The advice is learn to manage the AI. The writers surviving the shift are the ones pivoting into AI content editors, where they oversee the AI's output inject unique brand humor or highly specialized human anecdotes, and manage the automated pipeline.
That's a brutal reality check, but a very necessary pivot. Okay, so we have data entry and junior copywriters. What's number 3? Because this one, I think, enters the white-collar, highly regulated space, which I never thought AI would touch this quickly.
Number 3 is the disruption of junior legal reviewers and entry-level paralegals. The tools driving this are specialized legal AI copilots. Platforms like Harvey AI or custom LLMs trained strictly on thousands of pages of case law and contract structures.
Wait, hold on. Law is complex. One misplaced comma in a massive corporate contract can cost a company millions of dollars. You're telling me law firms are trusting artificial intelligence to handle legal reviews instead of actual human law school graduates?
They are trusting AI to handle the first pass of the review. Think about massive corporate mergers. During discovery, paralegals used to sit in rooms for hundreds of hours, manually reading thousands of emails and NDA contracts to flag potential liabilities. It was exhausting, tedious, and highly prone to human error because humans simply get incredibly tired reading that much legal jargon.
Oh, wow. And an AI never gets tired. It can ingest a 10,000-page legal document in 5 seconds and instantly highlight every single non-compete clause that violates a specific state law.
Exactly. The AI flags the anomalies instantly with hyper-precision. So instead of a law firm hiring 20 junior associates to spend a month doing document review billable hours, they use one legal AI tool to process the documents overnight. Then, they use maybe 2 senior lawyers to review the flagged items. The heavy lifting of basic review is completely offloaded.
That is staggering efficiency, and it makes sense why the review role is disappearing. Okay, moving on to number 4. This is something literally every single person listening to this has interacted with recently. Let's talk about Tier 1 customer support and call center reps.
Of fact, the disruption here is massive. The tools replacing these roles are advanced conversational voice agents, not the terrible, robotic press 1 for billing menus we all hate. I am talking about AI voice agents powered by things like 11 Labs and Grok chips that can speak, listen, and reason in real time with less than a second of latency.
Right, I actually called a hotel reservation desk the other day, and I spoke to a woman who had a perfectly natural voice. She paused, she said, she checked the database, and she booked my room. It took me a full minute to realize she wasn't a human being. It was almost spooky.
It is spooky, but from a business perspective, it's completely revolutionary. A typical call center deals with thousands of calls a day, and 80% of those calls are exactly the same. Where is my order? Can I reset my password? What are your hours? Why employ a massive team of humans to answer the exact same basic questions, dealing with angry customers and high turnover rates?
Because now you just deploy an AI voice agent that can handle literally 10,000 calls simultaneously in 50 different languages without ever losing its temper. It fundamentally wipes out the need for Tier 1 manual support reps.
Exactly right. The human roles that remain in customer service are what we call Tier 3 escalation specialists. If the AI encounters a deeply emotional or incredibly complex ethical issue that requires human empathy, it seamlessly transfers the call to a human. But the days of sitting in a cubicle reading a script to reset passwords, those jobs are simply gone.
It's a total restructuring of the workforce pyramid. On the bottom of the pyramid is being automated, forcing everyone to move toward the top. Okay, what is the 5th and final tool quietly replacing jobs? This one is going to hit the tech sector itself.
The 5th area is junior QA testers and basic code debuggers. The tools driving this disruption are AI coding companions like GitHub Copilot, Cursor, and automated QA AI agents. Historically, tech companies would hire entry-level programmers specifically to write test scripts, check for basic bugs, and ensure the code didn't crash.
So basically, the grunts of the software engineering world, they go in and fix the typos so the senior developers can focus on building the actual architecture.
Yes. But over the last year, AI coding tools have become so incredibly proficient that they don't just fix bugs. They predict them before they happen. A senior developer can write a massive block of code, and an AI agent will instantly run thousands of simulated tests, identify the breaking points, and rewrite the code to fix the problem automatically.
So the senior developer essentially becomes a one-man army. They used to need 3 junior devs under them just to clean up the code, but now the AI is acting as their entire junior squad. The output multiplies, but the headcount shrinks.
That is exactly what's happening. And it's why getting an entry-level coding job right now is significantly harder than it was 5 years ago. You can't just know basic Python syntax anymore, because the AI knows it better, faster, and cheaper. You have to understand high-level system architecture and how to direct the AI to build the application.
So, to recap, data entry clerks replaced by vision extractors, generic SEO writers replaced by fine-tuned content agents, early legal discovery replaced by Legal AI Copilots, Tier 1 call centers replaced by real-time voice agents, and junior QA testers replaced by AI coding companions. That relies heavily on a painful transition period.
It is a painful transition for those who refuse to adapt. But the factual reality is this: the economy has never rewarded rote, repetitive labor long-term. The invention of the tractor replaced millions of physical laborers, but created entire new industries in mechanics and logistics. AI is the cognitive tractor.
That's a great analogy. It's doing the mental heavy lifting so we don't have to. The takeaway here isn't to panic. The takeaway is to look at your current job, ask yourself how much of my day is spent doing basic data transfer or generic processing, and aggressively upskill to manage the AI that handles those tasks, adapt or become obsolete.
Exactly. And we'll be here every step of the way to show you exactly how to wield these tools so you stay on the right side of this economic shift. Thanks for joining us today. Let us know in the comments which job role you think is next, and we will catch you in the next episode.